Assalamualaikum student. Hear me, the biology teacher from IYS. Student, first I'm giving you some instructions. Listen carefully and follow them. Keep your biology book with you. Don't raise your hand during my lecture. Ask question answers during question answering session through chat. Take a screenshot of every slide as well as home task slide and do my homework in your fair biology copies with good presentation. Students, today I will continue my teaching of chapter 4. I will continue my teaching of chapter 4. The name of chapter 4 is viruses, bacteria and cyanobacteria. And Alhamdulillah, we have completed viruses in my last class. Today, today we will learn about bacteria and cyanobacteria. What are bacteria and cyanobacteria? They are microorganisms and they both are prokaryotes. What are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are the living organisms. Those do not have well-defined nucleus, okay, and they belong to kingdom prokaryote. First, in both of them, I'm going to explain bacteria. Bacteria first introduced by the scientist Leeuwenhoek in 1676 using a single lens microscope of his own design. These are type of bacteria, and this is the biologist Leeuwenhoek. Okay. Characteristics of bacteria. Bacteria can grow in every habitat of Earth and under all environmental conditions, means they can easily survive in freezing temperature as well as in hot sulfur springs. They are largest creature and are found everywhere in the world. Bacteria cell range in size from 0.2 to 2 micron. They are 1,000 times larger in size than viruses. You know, viruses size was in nanometer, but the bacteria size in micron. Okay, and in width, the size of bacteria is 0.2 to 2 micron, while in length they are 2 to 10 micron. And bacteria are unicellular. Unicellular means single cell prokaryotes. Okay. Bacteria having no mitosis or meiosis, but they divide by binary fission. What is binary fission? Binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction. This is binary fission. Binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction in which a parent cell divides into two identical cells. Okay, I hope you all of them have understood about the characteristics of bacteria. Now, we must know about the structure of bacteria, and on your screen you have a diagram of rod-shaped bacterium. The structure of the shape is rod-shaped. Okay, this is rod-shaped bacterium, and the structure of rod-shaped bacterium is consists of cell wall, plasma membrane, cytoplasm, nuclear material, and flagella. First, cell wall. Where is cell wall? This is the outer boundary. Observe my cursor. This is the outer boundary. This is cell wall. This is hard and rigid, okay, and it protects the bacterial cell. It is made up of, in bacteria, it is made up of amino acids, sugar, and sometimes chitins. You know, it is totally different from plant cell wall because plant cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin, but bacterial cell wall is made up of amino acids, sugar, and sometimes chitins. Okay. Next to the cell wall, the cell surface membrane means plasma membrane is present. It is next to the cell wall. It is thin, and somewhere it is attached with the cell wall as well. Okay, and it is made up of lipids and protein. It is made up of lipids and proteins, and it performs the function of respiration in bacteria. Why? Because bacteria are prokaryotes and they do not have mitochondria. That's why you are seeing, observe my cursor, somewhere it enfolds inside, and this enfolding is called mesosome, and mesosome perform the function of respiration. Okay, and as well as after that it performs the function of respiration where in bacterial cell. Okay, and by nature it is semi-permeable in nature, means it allows only the movement of selective particles inside and outside of the cell. Okay, next is cytoplasm. Bacterial cell is filled with the granular substance. This is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is present between plasma membrane and the nuclear material, this is DNA, okay, between both of them, and it contains vacuoles, ribosomes, and food reserves means glycogen particles they have, okay, and because they are prokaryotes, that's why bacterial cell does not have membranous bound structures, mean endoplasmic reticulum, no Golgi apparatus, no endoplasmic reticulum, no mitochondria. Okay, this is the cytoplasm. Next is nuclear material. Observe my cursor, DNA. DNA is a nuclear material because they are prokaryote, do not have well-defined nucleus. The DNA is present into the concentrated form, and it is responsible to transfer the hereditary material or genetic properties from parents to their offspring. Okay, now is the flagella. Flagella, you observe this is the diagram of bacteria. This is the flagella. It is a long, hair-like, thin, whip-like structure and helps bacteria for movement. Okay, and some bacteria having one flagellum and many other having flagella. And you can easily observe this is the value of Allah. This is the electron microscopic structure of flagella. You know, bacteria is very much small in size, and it also having the very complicated structure in bacteria as well. Okay, now now the this was the structure of rod-shaped bacterium. The shape was rod-shaped bacterium. How many shapes of bacteria we have in our surrounding? Yes, there are many shapes of bacteria are present in our surrounding. You observe this shape, spherical, rod shape, spiral shape. Pleomorphic means they can alter their morphology. They can change their shape according to their surrounding. And vibrio means comma-like. Okay, they are slightly curved. And they are also called by different names: coccus, coco, bacillus, vibrio, pleomorphic, spirillum, spirochetes. Okay, and out of them, few I am describing for you. First are cocci. Cocci singular, they are called coccus, and the word coccus is derived from the Greek word kokos. Kokos means very or rounded. Okay, they are spherical in shape, and they may be found single, in pair, in chain, or in cluster. When they are found single, they are called monococcus. Mono means one. When they are found in pair, they are called diplo. Diplo means two. When they are found in chain, they are called streptococci because strepto means chain. When they are found in cluster, they are called staphylococci because staphylo means cluster. Okay, and they are non-flagellated. Next, bacilli bacteria. These bacteria singular are called bacillus, and the bacillus word is derived from the Latin language baculus. Baculus means a rod, and they may be found single, in pair, or in chain. When they are found in pair, they are called diplobacillus. When they are found in chain, they are called streptobacillus. Okay, and when they are found alone, they are called bacillus, and they may be flagellated and not may be flagellated. You know, at that time we have discussed about the structure of bacteria, rod-shaped bacterium. Next are spirula, and the observe the shape of spirula bacteria. Similar, they are called spirulum, and their shape is looking like a spiral coil shape or screw and cork screw shaped they have. Okay, and they may be also flagellated. Okay, and the word spirillum is derived from the Greek word spirira. Spirira means a coil. That's why they look like a coil. Okay, and the next is vibrio cholera. Vibrio or comma. Observe the shape; they are slightly curved. Okay, and the bacteria you are seeing on your screen, they are Vibrio cholerae. Okay, they are very much serious and dangerous for the human health and cause many diseases in the human body. Okay, and they may be flagellated. Okay, after describing the different types of shapes of bacteria, and because you know the bacteria are living organisms, they can reproduce, they can respire, and they can grow. So means for growth and for respiration and for reproduction, they require food or nutrition. So means according to food and nutrition, they are also classified into different classification, and they are of different types. First, they are divided. This is the classification according to flow chart on your screen. There are different types of bacteria we have. First, they are divided into two categories: autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. Autotrophic further divided into two types: chemosynthetic and photosynthetic, while heterotrophic bacteria are divided into three categories: parasitic, symbiotic, and saprophytic. First, what are heterotrophic bacteria? Heterotrophic bacteria. These bacteria are not able to synthesize their food from simple inorganic substances. What? They are of the three types. The first is parasitic. Parasitic are the type of heterotrophic bacteria. These bacteria depends upon the other living organisms for their food and nutrition, and these living organisms are their host. Okay, and what they do, they grow inside the tissues of the host body, and also they harm their host. It's a very much important point. They obtain their food by harming their host. Why? And these bacteria don't have complex system of enzymes. Okay, the next heterotrophic bacteria are symbiotic bacteria. These bacteria make an association with other living organisms, but what is the important point? They do not harm their host. They get their food, they obtain their food without harming their host. Parasitic harm their host, but symbiotic don't harm their host. Okay, the very good example of nitrogen fixing bacteria in the roots of leguminous plants. What are leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are the plant example: pea plant, beans plant. Okay, and nitrogen fixing bacteria fix the atmospheric nitrogen for these plants and convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the ammonia. Okay, for this plant, and these and what these plants do, these plants provide shelter to the nitrogen fixing bacteria and as well as nourishment. That's why in this association and in this partnership, both partners get benefits from each other, and this association is called symbiosis, and these bacteria are called symbiotic bacteria. Second are saprophytic bacteria. These bacteria depend upon these bacteria get their food from dead organic matter, and what they do, they decompose or they convert these complex compounds into a simpler form. How? Because these bacteria having complex systems of enzymes, that's why they can easily convert the complex organic compound into simpler form. Okay, and where these compounds are formed? These compounds are formed into the soil in the form of humus. What is humus? See, this is humus. This is humus. This is the upper layer of the soil, and this is the dark color, or it is formed by the decomposition of plants and animal. This is the dark organic material. It formed by the when the animals and plants decay. Okay, this is humus. So means they are they because these organic compounds are present into the soil in the form of humus, they decompose the humus and they get their food by using their enzymes. Okay, now what are autotrophic bacteria? Autotrophic bacteria, they are able to synthesis their food from the simple inorganic substances. Okay, and they are of two types: photosynthetic bacteria and chemosynthetic bacteria. Okay, photosynthetic bacteria, they have the photo means light. Okay, and synthetic means preparation, where they can make their food in the presence of sunlight. How? Because they have the pigments. They are very much similar to the chlorophyll, and the name of this chemical or pigment is bacteriochlorophyll. Okay, but bacteria do not have chloroplast. Already we have discussed bacterial cell does not have chloroplast. Means what happened? These bacteriochlorophyll is bounded by observe my cursor, bounded by an invaginated plasma membrane. Observe my cursor. This is invaginated plasma membrane. Invagination means folding inside. Okay, so means these bacteriochlorophyll are bounded in them and perform the function of photosynthesis. Okay, now the second are chemosynthetic bacteria. Chemo, the word arises from chemicals. Synthesis, synthetic means preparation. These bacteria obtain their food by from oxidation of the some inorganic substances, chemical substances. Those are found into the earth crust, like iron, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Okay, and after the decomposition, after the oxidation means breakdown. Okay, after the oxidation of these chemical substances, these bacteria get energy from them and they synthesize their food. Okay, they synthesize their food, And after that, after describing the types of bacteria according to their nutrition, I am moving and I'm going to share the types of bacteria according to their respiration. Okay, they are also categorized into two categories: aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. According to respiration, bacteria are of two types: aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria, these bacteria require oxygen for respiration, okay, and they cannot survive without oxygen. That's why they are also called obligate aerobic bacteria. While anaerobic bacteria, these are anaerobic bacteria, and these bacteria respire without oxygen, and they are further divided into two categories: obligate anaerobic bacteria and facultative anaerobic bacteria. Obligate means complete. You know, we have discussed in viruses. Viruses are obligate parasites. Obligate means completely. Okay, so it means obligate anaerobic bacteria. These bacteria cannot survive in the presence of oxygen because they are killed in the presence of oxygen. That's why they are called obligate anaerobic bacteria. Okay, facultative anaerobic bacteria. These bacteria can survive with oxygen as well as without oxygen. That's why they are called facultative anaerobic bacteria. Okay, then this was the classification or types of bacteria according to their respiration. You know, students, because of biotechnology, we are getting benefits from bacteria. Okay, because of biotechnology, we are getting benefits from microorganisms, especially bacteria. And let's watch how much bacteria are important for us. This is the importance of bacteria. Observe, they are very much important. Some importance I'm sharing with you. The first, they are very much important for agriculture. You are seeing here, so means and they are also called agricultural bacteria. What these bacteria do? These bacteria decompose the dead plants and animals' bodies and make a part of the soil. And this part is called humus. This is humus we have already discussed. Okay, and they convert these various organic compounds into nitrates, sulfates, phosphates for plants. Okay, and nitrifying bacteria. These bacteria are also present into the humus or into the soil. What they do? They convert ammonia into the nitrates. Okay, and they increase the fertility of the soil. That's why the agricultural bacteria is very much important for agricultural field. Now, alimentary canal bacteria. These bacteria are present into the alimentary canal or herbivore animals and as well as human beings. What they do in herbivore animals, they produce an enzyme. The name of this enzyme is cellulase. Enzyme name is cellulase, and what this enzyme helps in digestion of cellulose. Cellulose, where the cellulose is present? Cellulose is present into the plant cell wall. You know, herbivore animals only eat plants, okay, grasses and plants, and plant cell wall is made up by cellulose and pectin, and cellulose is not easily digestible. That's why what they do, these bacteria produce an enzyme cellulose, and cellulase helps to digest cellulose in herbivores. Okay, as well as they are present into the alimentary canal of man and make vitamins, okay, for our good health. Second are industrial bacteria. Oh, industrial bacteria have great importance because these bacteria helps to synthesis some important products at industrial level, and they are very much important for our economic importance. Okay, for our economy they are very much important. How? Because what they do, they help in curing and ripening of tobacco leaves. The tobacco leaves are very much important for us, and we are very much very much rich in tobacco plants. Fermentation of sugar and sugar into alcohol. Fermentation is a process in which break down break down sugar, and they respire anaerobically. When they respire in the absence of oxygen, they break down the sugar into alcohol. You know, we have many use of alcohol at the high level and at the industrial level, and we make different beverages and domestic items we make from alcohol. Okay, so means the industrial bacteria help in the fermentation of sugar into alcohol, preparation of cheese, softening of fibers, softening of fibers, curdling of milk, conversion of hides into leather. Okay, these are the industrial level products in which we utilize industrial bacteria. Next are medicinal bacteria. You know, medicinal bacteria have brought revolution in the world because nowadays we are getting valuable antibiotics and as well as many vitamins from these bacteria such as thyroxine, subtilin, okay, and you are seeing riboflavin on your screen. It's a vitamin B2, which is made by the bacteria. The name is Clostridium bacteria. Okay, this was the importance of and this was the importance of bacteria. Okay, but no, not all bacteria are useful for us. Some bacteria are pathogens. Some bacteria are pathogens. Pathogens means they cause diseases in man and animals both. That's why what they are harmful bacteria. What they are harmful bacteria. You can observe on your skin many microorganisms are here and they are very much harmful. So means now I'm going to discussing and describing some harmful bacteria and those are the cause of diseases and they are called pathogenic bacteria. Okay, the diseases are you seeing in man, they are the source of diseases. They cause diseases. Tuberculosis is the disease which is caused by the bacteria Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, and it is the lungs infection. Okay, the next is cholera. This disease is caused by the bacteria Vibrio cholerae. Okay, and this bacteria transfer into the human body from contaminated water. Okay, and in this disease, the patient face watery diarrhea. Okay, now the next is tetanus, okay, and this disease is caused by the bacteria Clostridium tetani, okay, and this bacteria attacks on the nervous system of man, and in this disease, muscles become painful and they contract, okay, and the next is typhoid. The bacteria of this disease is Salmonella typhosa. What the name? Salmonella typhosa, and this disease is the and this bacteria cause the intestinal disorder in man. And the one more disease is diphtheria. Diphtheria is left. Okay, diphtheria, it is the disease which is caused by the bacteria. The name was Corynebacterium diphtheriae. This is the disease. Better observe my cursor. Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Okay, this is the throat infection. This bacteria causes throat infection, and patient feels difficulty to breathe. Okay, heart failure and become paralyzed. Okay, these are the symptoms of the disease of diphtheria. Okay, these are the main diseases because of pathogen bacteria. Okay, now these are the plant diseases. Bacteria are also the cause of the plant diseases. Observe on your screen. This is a cabbage. This is the black rods of cabbage. You are seeing they are the black rods. This is the black rods of cabbage. Citrus canker. You know, citrus canker. Orange is the citrus fruit. Okay, citrus canker disease is this. This is the this is the fine blight of pear and potato. This is the fine blight of pear and apple, okay? And black rods. For some time you observe the black rods on the potato. This is the disease of the plant disease, okay? And as well as bacteria are the source of food spoilage, okay? So means these are the harmful bacteria, okay? And we have discussed about them. And now Alhamdulillah, after completing the complete information about bacteria, I am sharing with you and we are going to learn about the cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, what are cyanobacteria? Cyanobacteria, it is a group of algae and they are also commonly named as blue-green algae. Why they are called blue-green algae? Because they have the blue and green color pigment. You know better when I was teaching you chapter 3rd. In chapter 3, I have told you when I was telling you about the basis of classification. At that time, I have told you the organisms are also classified according to their chemical substance which they contain. Okay, and at that time, I shared the picture of different types of algae, blue algae, green algae, brown algae, red algae. Okay, so means this is the group of blue green algae. So, and we have many species of cyanobacteria. They are grouped together. Okay, and they are called blue-green algae. Okay, now silent features of blue-green algae or cyanobacteria I am going to share. The silent features of cyanobacteria are these blue-green algae are prokaryote. Oh, they are prokaryotic, like bacteria. They are also called cyanobacteria because their structure is little bit resembled to the bacteria. That's why they are also called cyanobacteria. Okay. These blue-green algae are prokaryotic. Okay, and they may occur alone or in the form of colony. You can say they are alone, single cell, and as well as they can be in a colony form. Okay. Cell wall is double layer. Observe my cursor. This is the cell wall is double layer. Okay. There are two layers are present into the cell. Every cell of the cyanobacteria. Protoplasm is differentiated into two regions. Observe my cursor. This is chromoplasm. Outer is colored region. You are seeing the many dots. This is a chromoplasm. And inner is centroplasm. This is colorless region. And centroplasm also contains the genetic material DNA in a coiled form. Okay. Okay, done. And they are found in fresh water and few are marine as well. Okay. Total action of sexual reproduction, only asexual reproduction takes place in cyanobacteria, means they also reproduce by the asexual reproduction, binary fission, fragmentation, or spore formation. Okay, these three types of asexual reproduction are found in cyanobacteria, and the examples of cyanobacteria are nostoc and anabina. In both of them, nostoc and anabina, I am describing the structure of nostoc. This is the structure of nostoc. You can easily observe on your screen. Nostoc belongs to kingdom Prokaryote as well. And the nostoc structure consists of filament. This is a complete filament. Okay. Cell wall. Okay. Protoplasm and heterocyst. These are heterocysts. Are you seeing? So means first I am telling you about the filament. The structure of this is a whole filament. Okay. Nostoc is filamentous and the filaments are intermixed with each other. What they intermix with each other and in a gelatinous mass. This is the gelatinous mass. Okay. And they form a ball-like structure. Because of this ball-like structure, they can easily float on the water surface. Okay. Because of this ball-like structure, they can easily float on the surface of the water. Okay, done. And each filament is looking like a chain of beads. You can easily observe they are looking like a beads, and the cells are spherical or little bit oval in shape. Okay, they are, and each filament is unbranched and has a single row of rounded or oval shaped cells. Okay, beta. Now double layered wall. Each cell having double layered wall. Already we have discussed is a double layer wall around each cell. Okay. Now protoplasm is differentiated because it's a cyano group. It belongs to cyanobacteria. That protoplasm is divided into two portions: chromoplasm and centroplasm. And centroplasm contains the genetic material DNA in a coiled form. Okay. Cell organelles, total absence of double membranous organelles are absent. Means endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, okay, mitochondria are absent. But the pseudovacuoles, glycogen particles of food results, and ribosomes are present like bacteria. Okay, because of the structure, they are resembled to the bacteria. That's why they are also called cyanobacteria. Okay, and heterocyst. You observe these are the heterocyst. Okay, in nostoc at intervals. After these are the vegetative cells at intervals, slightly larger, oblong, colorless cells with slightly thicker walls are present, and they are called heterocysts. Heterocysts are very much important because this is the center of nitrogen fixation. You know, because cyanobacteria or nostoc also are responsible to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and they are also photosynthesizers. Okay, they are also photosynthesizers, and they can fix the atmospheric nitrogen. And heterocysts in the nostoc are responsible to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. That's why the heterocyst it is the center of nitrogen fixation. As well as one more function, the heterocysts are responsible for the multiplication of the filament in under unfavorable condition. If they are having no favorable condition into the surrounding, they can easily divide by the process of binary fission or by the fragmentation, and they reproduce and grow and increase their population. Okay, the one more cell you are seeing, they are akinete. You are seeing the akinete, they are also thick walled cell, they are non-motile, okay, dormant cell, and they are also play the key role in the survival of the cyanobacteria or nostoc, because they are also responsible and take part in the asexual reproduction. Okay, beta. So means this was the structure of nostoc, and I hope you all of them have understood about the structure of nostoc. Okay, okay, okay. Now again, I'm giving you review. Today we have discussed about the bacteria, and in bacteria the topic we have covered about the from starting. I'm telling you, today we have completed the bacteria. We have discussed today the characteristics of bacteria. Okay, introduction, characteristics of bacteria, structure of bacteria in detail. Okay, and shapes of bacteria we have discussed today, and classification of bacteria according to their mode of nutrition we have discussed, and also we have discussed the types of bacteria according to their respiration, and also importance of bacteria we have discussed today, and the pathogenic bacteria we have discussed today, and cyanobacteria we have discussed today in detail. Alhamdulillah, we have covered 4 chapters today, and these 4 chapters will include in your MCQs test, which will be held in September. Okay, now that I'm sharing you with home task with you, there are 9 questions I'm giving you. Okay, the first, write introduction and characteristics of bacteria. Answer from slide number 3 and 4. Describe the structure of rod-shaped bacterium with label diagram. Okay. Answer from slide number 5 to 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Diagram from book page number 77. Types of bacteria of different shape with diagram. Slide numbers 10, 11, 12, and diagram from your book page number 78. Describe types of bacteria according to their mode of nutrition. Okay. Slide number 14 to 17. 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Question number 5, explain what are aerobic and anaerobic bacteria. Okay. And slide number 18, 19, and 20. Give economic importance of bacteria in your daily life. Slide number 21 to 24. Explain how are bacteria harmful for us. Slide number 26 and 27. But you will not draw the diagram. Okay. You will just write the content. Write salient features of cyanobacteria, bilirubin algae from my slide. Okay. 29. And what is nostoc? Describe the structure of nostoc from my slide, not from book. Okay, 30 to 34, but diagram from slide number 30 as well. Okay, okay, done. This is the, and also the diagram of nostoc is present into the book, but in my slide the diagram is very much clear. You will draw from my book. Okay, beta. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Inshallah, we will meet together when you will attempt your MCQs paper. Okay, Allah Hafiz.